Today on the Authenticity Challenge is a topic that's been in the news here in the UK. I don't watch TV because I don't have one, but someone told me about the news and I just wanted to share my interpretation of an event. So basically, I don't even know who these people are, but I'm watching this in a replay. The show's called Celebrity Big Brother. It's basically like, when they spy on you as a person in a house, and then they sometimes get celebrities who volunteer to to be spied on. And I guess the prize is to be the most popular person in the house. Never put me in somewhere like that. I'd probably be kicked out straight away. All right, so someone called Emma is interviewing a woman called Roxanne Pallett, and Roxanne Pallett, I think, was on a TV show in the UK, and so that makes her a celebrity, apparently. Okay, so basically, from what I can tell, the argument is, and obviously the media and, the current paradigm of all that stuff really, really loves the whole, like, someone's right and someone's wrong. Who can we point fingers at? Who can we yell at? Who can we take out all our shit on? Okay, England loves doing this. It's great fun. They especially love it if they've built someone up. So say that they love someone like Victoria Beckham or Michael Jackson, and then as soon as there's an opportunity to pull them down, they love it even more. It's almost like a sport. It's a bit like in the old days where they used to cut people's heads off in Marble Arch and everyone would cheer along. We're still doing it, silly people. Okay, so this is my take on it. I've just watched the punch this guy gave this girl. And I've just watched a couple of interviews and stuff, okay? And from that very small second, this is my take on it. I would identify as an empath and healer. So when I pick up on stuff, it's generally through feeling things. I'm a very kinesthetic person and I pick up on how it makes me feel, okay? I don't just go into the logic of my mind because I think you miss out on a lot of detail. So what I pick up on is, number one, the one thing that everyone is missing, first of all, is that this is her against him or him against her. I would say it's not. I would say they're both involved in this solution for the evolution of their soul's growth, and that's why it's happened, okay? Live on public TV. So my take on it that no one is picking up on is that this woman, Roxanne, has a trauma from something that has happened where her boundaries have maybe been pushed before in a way that wasn't pleasant to her, and she maybe wasn't able to express herself, and something inside herself this time was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. We use that expression here in the UK. So basically her tolerance for maybe little jabs, maybe she has a brother, I don't know, maybe she's had men in her life who kind of don't respect her boundaries. I think what happened was that to him, this act was playful, and it quite likely was. His intention was quite playful, jovial, almost performance-like, etc., maybe even like flirty, okay? All good-natured, I'm sure. However, unfortunately for him, this just happens to be the time when she's hit her tolerance level for maybe being touched or etc., right? And unfortunately, he just happened to be the random bloke who got in the way as she reached her tolerance level. And so he essentially got scapegoated. But to be fair to her, and I'm not on anyone's side, but to be fair to her, she has actually apologized. She has watched the videos. She has, if you listen to her, she is actually taking in everyone else's point of view and saying, I can see what you're saying. And what she's saying is that it felt differently at the time. Now, what no one's listening to are the words. They just want to find a scapegoat themselves because it's fun to pick on people, apparently, in this country. So, and in every other country. So listen to the words she says. She says, but it felt different, okay? Now, the thing is, his experience was real too, and he was saying that I was only being playful, and he was. That was his energy. However, he wasn't to know that this woman had reached her tolerance level for probably many men before who were maybe being played for or maybe weren't, or maybe were giving it when she wasn't wanted. And suddenly, for some reason, her body alarm system's literally gone, I've had enough. Okay, which was why in the moment she did her usual reaction maybe of just like, oh, make a joke of it. But when she was alone in private, and obviously in a Big Brother surveillance house you don't have privacy, she cried because her body needed to release the pain of that, and it probably was a memory of a former trauma, which has nothing to do with this guy called Ryan. I don't know who he is. Nothing to do with this bloke. He just happened to be there when she'd reached her tolerance level, and sorry for him. However, you could argue this is an opportunity for Ryan to also be aware that, I don't know, maybe sometimes people don't want to be touched. And maybe you need to give permission. You need to get permission. Maybe it needs to be consent, even for something that you're saying is playful. Again, I'm not saying either's right or wrong. I'm just saying there's an opportunity for growth here. This is an opportunity for this girl to heal her trauma and to have a look at her past and say, actually, this thing that Ryan did was fairly innocent. It's just that it just triggered me, and to own up to that, which I think she seems to be doing. And Ryan also needs to go that sometimes, and there are many women out there that have part of the Me Too movement that have been touched in the ways they don't like. Even little brothers. My brother used to hold me under the water, in the swimming pool for way longer than I wanted. Can't say anything because I'm bloody underwater, trying to save my own life. When I get up, yes, I can kick and scream, but then he already thinks it's hilarious. And it's not like as kids you would then have that conversation again about never doing that, etc. You see what I mean? So if you do, you're often told you're too sensitive. So then little girls find a way to kind of put up with that behavior or tolerate it actually, and just continue to be afraid of their behavior. And women have such an amazing tolerant level. They're so resilient. They're such resilient creatures. Men don't even realize one day the woman explodes and all the shit hits the fan and they're like, what's going on? And it's like, yeah, that's what's going on, babe. She's really resilient. She's really tolerant. She's just put up with a lot of shit for way too long. Okay, so I think it's a really good conversation. It doesn't need blame, can come back to love. In fact, if they did some transparent communication with each other, I'd happily lead them. They'd probably realize that actually, they do love each other underneath, and everything doesn't need to blow up like this. And the only reason that it blew up like this is because it sells newspapers. Ta-da! The end. And they all lived happily ever after. Anyway, so that's my scope on this, and you can check it out on YouTube, and you can give your beautiful opinions, but just remember that opinions like my own, we all have opinions like what's the saying? I love it. It goes, opinions are like arseholes. We all have one. Yes, I have one, and you do have one too. So use your arsehole wisely, or your opinion. Either way. All right, have a lovely day. This is Suze.